James Tavernier's future is hanging by a thread, and the board's being warned not to make a daft mistake that could cost the club dearly. Joe Rothwell, already on the chopping block after barely kicking a ball as Danny Role sharpens the axe for a brutal January clear-out, and just when you thought it couldn't get wilder, Ali McCoist drops a truth bomb on Steven Gerrard and the 49ers' secret plan to parachute him into Leeds. But it's Graeme Souness who fires the biggest shot of all, calling out Kevin Thelwell, slamming £40 million of wasted cash and saying he cannot be trusted with another penny this winter. Want to see these and more Rangers news? Stay until the end. We are the people. Right, let's get right into this one, because it's got folk talking all across Govan and beyond. James Tavernier, the man's name alone splits opinion like a Glasgow derby on a Sunday morning. Over 500 games in royal blue, a captain, a goal scorer, and a player that stood firm through 10 years of highs, lows, and everything in between at Ibrox. And now we're at a crossroads. Chris Jack from Rangers Review has weighed in, and to be fair, he's talking sense. He reckons Rangers have no choice but to keep Tavernier around, but, and it's a big but, not at the old terms. None of this 3-year bumper extension with wages fit for a Champions League winner. That, as he put it, would be daft, and he's spot on. Tav's still banging in goals, 6 already this season, and creating with 3 assists to his name. But let's not kid ourselves, he's 34. If we let him go, we'd need to sign 2 right-backs to fill the void. And this recruitment team, let's just say they've still got a lot to prove. It's not Football Manager. You can't just click sign now and expect quality to walk through the door. Now, folk will say he should have won more in his time at Ibrox, and they're right. But that's not entirely on him. He's been let down by the shambles behind the scenes and too many seasons of mediocrity. Still, keeping him means juggling loyalty with logic. You can't run a club on sentiment. It's got to make financial and footballing sense. Reduced terms, a short extension, fine. But another 3-year deal on big wages, that'll be handing out a reward for the past when we're supposed to be building a future. Should Rangers rip the plaster off now and move on from Tavernier completely? Or are we just too scared to imagine Ibrox without him? Joe Rothwell, brought in from the English Premier League with all the hype, apparently turned down offers from La Liga to join the mighty Rangers, and yet here we are. The man's barely kicked a ball under Danny Role and already looks like he's halfway out the Ibrox door. 19 minutes of domestic action since Role arrived. 19. That's not a tactical decision. That's a full-blown snub of. He started under the lights in Europe against Brann, and folk thought, right, maybe this is his chance. But no, since then, he's been nowhere near it, hasn't started a match since late October, and looks completely surplus to requirements. He's behind Diamond, he's behind Barron, he's basically behind the kit man at this point. And the worst part, this is exactly the kind of transfer that's got Kevin Thelwell under the microscope, signed in the summer on what's surely a healthy wage, and yet we're already talking about offloading him come January. That's recruitment malpractice, plain and simple. Rothwell was supposed to bring experience, drive, that extra bit of quality. Instead, we've got a 30-year-old passenger taking up a spot ad and no doubt taking up a decent chunk of the wage bill. It's brutal, but it's true. Now, to be fair, if he had that much interest before he joined Rangers, clubs from Spain, the lot, then maybe, just maybe, we can shift him quickly without taking a massive hit. But let's not pretend this isn't a mess that should never have happened in the first place. Should Danny Role be trusted with the January rebuild if he's already binning off Thelwell's summer signings before they've even had a proper run? Steven Gerrard, the man who ended the nightmare, the one who dragged you out of the shadows and smashed Celtic's 9 in a row circus right into the Clyde. His 2021 title win will never be forgotten, but this talk of a return to Ibrox, that door's been closed. And it wasn't the club that slammed it shut, it was Gerrard himself who walked away after sitting down with the big wigs at 49ers Enterprises. Now, Ali McCoist, who knows more about Rangers than any chairman ever will, has come out with a reality check. And it's bang on. He says Gerrard's next move has to be the right one, not just for his career, but for his legacy. Because let's face it, after that Saudi misadventure at Al Ettifaq, his stock isn't where it once was. Gerrard apparently had serious talks with Rangers before Danny Roll got the job. Met with Andrew Kavanagh and Parag Marathi, but in the end, he pulled the plug. Why? According to McCoist, Gerrard probably took one look at the state of the squad, the chaos behind the scenes, and thought, nay chance. And now, here's where it gets juicy. There's whispers Gerrard could end up at Leeds United, a club also owned by 49ers Enterprises. That's right. The same folk who tried to bring him back to Ibrox might just hand him the Elland Road job instead. It's a fascinating twist, especially if Daniel Farke doesn't turn things around soon in the championship. McCoist summed it up. Gerrard's next job could make or break him. He's no longer the shiny up-and-comer. He's a manager trying to steady a wobbly career before it tips. If Gerrard wasn't willing to take on the Rangers job when you needed him most, should he ever be welcomed back to Ibrox again? Well then, if you thought the drama was cooling down at Ibrox, you'd be miles off. Strap yourself in, because Graeme Souness has just come swinging straight through the front door, and he's not pulling punches. The Rangers legend has absolutely ripped into Kevin Thelwell, and to be fair, you can't say he's wrong. Souness says it plain and simple: if you hand this man another January budget, you're gambling with the club's future, and that should make you sit up. Let's look at the wreckage. Thelwell's summer spending spree, £40 million. What's he got to show for it? A manager, Russell Martin, who lasted just over 4 months. A squad that's still begging for leadership and goals. And £8 million loan on Youssef Shemiti, who's found the net just once and looks like he'd struggle to score in a bounce game at Auchenhowie. Oh, and just to add salt to the wound, he hired his own son Robbie into the scouting team. You couldn't make it up. Souness made it brutally clear he doesn't see anything in these signings that says future profit. And let's be honest, that's supposed to be the whole business model these days. Buy cheap, coach smart, sell big. But what we've ended up with is a bloated squad that couldn't lay a glove on Roma, crumbled against Brann, and got mugged at Hampton by a Celtic side down to 10 men. Rangers are on the ropes in Europe, and yet the support is still finding something to rally behind in the league, thanks to Danny Roll. Wins against Kilmarnock, Hibs and Dundee have calmed the waters a bit. The crowd at Dens Park singing Roll's name, that's the kind of noise you want to hear. But here's the rub. The damage was already done in the summer, and now Roll's being asked to clean it all up without a broom. Souness even hinted that Gerrard, the same Gerrard who was almost brought back, probably saw the state of it all and backed away sharpish. If Kevin Thelwell is allowed to run another transfer window after wasting £40 million, is Rangers being run for success or just run into the ground? Let me know what you think in the comments. Drop a like to support the channel, and if you're not subscribed yet, you're missing all the latest from our Rangers. New videos every day. See you soon.